Hey guys, welcome to another episode of RLG Cast Reviews. I'm here with Johnny Donuts, the Donut Man, and today we'll be reviewing the new MCU TV show on Disney Plus from Disney, based around the Marvel product that's from Marvel Studios at Disney Studios, Ironheart.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, not Iron Man,
Nope.
Ironheart, the heart
Heart.
of the iron
Yes.
from deep within
Which,
the.
and you have iron in your blood, and that's what makes your heart work. So,
Do you think that's a reference?
no.
Okay, I didn't think it was that
It,
deep
it,
either.
it, Iron Heart, I think, is like supposed to be mean like valor or something. I don't know.
Congratulations, Valor Man. All right, let's talk about Ironheart, and you will tell them what it's about.
So, it's about a young genius who is at MIT, I believe it is, but she doesn't want to be like Tony Stark or anybody. She wants to be better than them. She is a genius, and yeah, and she wants to carve her own path and make a name for herself in the world of technology and meh,
Things
but
ensue.
falls into the wrong crowd.
Okay, we'll go spoilery free
Yeah.
and then talk spoilers. I don't know how long this review will be. We'll do F1 reviews coming. Check for that as well.
Yeah.
Uh, Um, so what did you generally think?
Ugh. The writing was bad. I don't think this show, I'll be honest, and I hate to say this show was not written for a middle-aged white man.
I don't know who this show was written for.
Well,
And
definitely not for a middle-aged white man like me.
but like I feel like you really get the vibe that there was a lot of writers on this, and there
Hmm.
is a lot of writers
There
on
are a lot
this,
of, yeah, I think each episode was written by somebody different.
right? And you get the comic character was created by Brian Michael Bendis
Hmm. Which he's a
as
great writer. I like Brian
yeah,
Michael Bendis. He
and
had a
Mike
great run with the new X-Men.
exactly, and Mike
Hmm.
Diodato, and the problem is those are both middle-aged white guys,
White guys.
and you get the sense from this show, like it has those vibes. Like to me, this felt like a studio made a show for a demographic, but didn't
That
let that demographic make the show. I know they did, but it
yeah.
feels like that. It like
Yeah.
my biggest issue with the whole show was the vibe that it has is like I'm trying really hard to be cool. Like
Yeah, there's well, and we'll talk about it in the spoilers, but there's so much wasted potential here.
there is. And I thought that was the biggest thing that kept throwing me off. I'm like, why are they trying so hard to push this like cool factor? Just tell us the
Yeah.
story. Because
Yeah.
there's little nuggets of greatness throughout. For me, my like that was my biggest issue. I also think the acting is awful,
Yes.
even from Anthony Ramos, who I like.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's a great actor, Anthony Ramos. I didn't his character was not who was the character? His cousin. He was probably my favorite character on the show.
I think that maybe character wise, yeah.
Yeah, like in terms of character writing.
I actually, you know what? I think Natalie was probably the best
Yeah.
character,
Which
like as a
she is
character.
where she's replaced in this show. Like she's a
Yeah,
replacement character.
yeah, and that works for me.
Yeah.
And I thought, like acting wise, just like right out the gate, like I thought Dominique Thorne as Riri is like leaps and bounds better than she was in Black Panther 2. She's so bad in Black Panther 2
Yeah,
that
she
I
wasn't great in this either, but
no,
like to
I
me
think
she came across as unsympathetic.
and but I think the writing does that, and we'll talk about that as
Yeah.
we go. But I think her as an actor, especially as the show progressed, she really started to like lock into the role, and I think she does a really solid job. I just dropped my phone. I also thought Alden Einrich as what's his name? Rick?
Yes.
Einreich.
Yeah, I know. Han Solo.
Yeah, Han Solo. I thought he was really good.
Aaron Reich.
I
All
thought he was really good, and
yeah.
his and her chemistry throughout was well paced.
But
The
he's also one of those wasted potential characters, and we'll talk about it when we get to spoilers when we get to it. He plays Joe McGillicuddy in the show, a black market tech dealer.
Yeah, and I do think though I don't I think they're gonna go somewhere. I think this is leading somewhere.
Okay.
I don't want to like just throw that in the garbage. But I do, yeah. A lot of the writing is really bad. They They really struggle with any emotional relevance because it's
Yeah.
like you're really forcing the storyline with her and her friend. I thought it was like you created that storyline. Like I know it
Yeah.
exists, but you created it basically to like force an emotional storyline that at the when it goes through, you're just like, well,
I-
if it came
Yeah.
more naturally and you weren't just like slapping me in the face with it the whole time, I think
Well,
it would
even
work
at the
better.
beginning, and this is not a spoiler because it happens right at the beginning of the first episode, is she gets kicked out of uni because of the fact that she was selling her projects to other classes to other students so she can get money off of it.
But
Okay.
I don't think that takes away sympatheticness. This is where
No,
it gets
but
for
you
me. Like
got the one the
she
assistant dean just like lambasting her, trying to build sympathy for her, and it did it because what you did was wrong regardless.
no,
I'm not sympathetic to that.
that's not where I think it happens for me at all. I
No,
think the
eh?
fact that
That threw
have
me off right from the beginning.
you have a character who in Black Panther 2 is being established as a heroic type character. Like she has it in her to do this. She has connections to the MCU. Okay, number
Yeah.
one. So her just like doing everything she's doing in the show doesn't really make any sense. Then you take someone who her goal, she says it at the beginning, was to make stuff to save people's lives. She wanted to make an entire like new technology that was going to
Mhm.
help first responders to save lives. Then she also wants to be a superhero. So her first instinct from getting kicked out of school, even though she lives at home rent free, instead of just getting a job, was I'm going to become a criminal.
But she already had all this tech established. Why don't you sell the tech and make millions of dollars instead of going and
That's my
creating?
point, right? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It literally the storyline to shoehorn her into the villain side of it. It doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. And this all happens in the first episode, so this is not
Yeah.
spoilers.
She came across more as a villain than she did as a superhero.
And I saw a lot of comments on Twitter that were like, "This is really the origin story of a villain," and
Yeah.
that okay, but I think the early on part of the show, the first episode is easily, and throughout all the Marvel shows we've been reviewing
This
in
is
the
one of the
recent
worst
years,
worst pieces of television I've seen in a long time.
I've been saying the first episode of the first two episodes is the worst thing Marvel's done so far. The first episode of the show is easily by far and away the worst thing Marvel has ever made.
Hmm.
It's so bad that I laughed throughout most of the show.
Hmm.
It gets a little
And I
better.
love Eric Andre.
Yeah, but he's barely in it.
Yeah.
I like episode 2 gets a little better. Episode 3, the show's really slow.
Yeah.
Halfway into episode 4, I actually started to enjoy it. And then episode 5 I liked, and episode 6 I liked. I just don't like the conclusion of it. What happens
Hmm.
at the end of the show is so stupid that I was like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
And we won't get into spoilers yet for that. But I think that first episode is so bad that most people are not going to continue to get to the good part because it's such a terrible introduction to a show.
Yeah. But
Then
it's also, she also, going back to her saying, she says, I need money to do this. I need money to do this. No, you don't. Tony Stark built the Iron Man suit in a cave.
the mom says to the friend's mom, the magic
Hmm.
people, which we won't give spoilers for it, but says
Which
she
was nice
doesn't.
to see Cree Summer again.
Yeah, she didn't want to send the daughter
Hmm.
to whatever the place is called, Shangri-La,
Oh, Carmitage.
Carmitage, because it's dangerous for a teenager. I'd rather have her stay in Chicago, like the most dangerous place
Their
on
city
earth,
in North America.
like on earth. Like dumb things like that get said a lot, and I'm not being like negative to Chicago, but there's so much pro Chicago stuff in this show that counteracts real life and
I'm
makes you
surprised CM Punk didn't make an appearance.
honest to God, or the Bears weren't in it, the 1985 Chicago Bears. Um, Shout out to Putty on that. But I just really struggled for a lot of that stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like you really taking me out of the show, like the underground highway. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, why is
Yeah.
that part of the show? Anyways,
Yeah.
I don't. I didn't hate this show. It's negotiable whether or not it's the complete worst thing that Marvel's ever done, because there are good things here. But I'm telling you this now, as
There's good things, and I could see something good coming out of it, but I would say this is probably
I'm not a fan
the
of the
bottom.
comic, and I don't think
No.
I don't think
Well, I
it's
mean,
necessarily anything who it's targeted at because Miss Marvel is one of my favorite comics, which is
and we weren't the target audience for that either.
no, and that comic is so good. I
The
love a lot
first
of
run.
the first run, the
Yeah.
first 7 volumes. Then the Captain Marvel stuff, early on is really good. The Spider Woman stuff when she's
Hmm.
pregnant, that run of
That
Marvel
one was
Now, when
really
it was
good.
Marvel
Yeah.
Now, those like women, people of color, it's not that's not what it is. Ironheart has been a really crappy comic book,
Yeah.
and it started to get better, and I stopped reading it. But like it's the same thing like this show. Like people are not going to continue reading this stuff when you start them off in a place that is like not
Already
good,
bad. Yeah.
and it's you're shoehorning juniors onto it. Like if it was wrestling, like oh, it's Iron Man Junior.
Okay, perfect example. AEW when they bring the Rizzler in.
Exactly. That's how this show feels. It feels like it's shoehorning. This is what the young kids like. That's how the whole show feels.
It's
And
the meme of Steve Buscemi. How's it
we
going, fellow kids?
exactly, and we made fun of this on the last show that we watched, and the last whatever the last Marvel thing, like Thunderbolts. It has a lot of that.
Hmm.
And it's this is still a good there's still really good stuff in this show, but you have to wade through so much nonsense to get
That
to it.
is it really worth your time?
And it's just like, and then the group of people was like, "You really reaching here, bud. Like
Okay,
you have to
and I
get
hate to
one
say this,
person of
but
every possible
let's
sexuality
I
to
was
like
gonna say
fill out a
let's click
box."
all the diversity check marks in this box. You know
And
what I
I
mean?
don't care that you
And I
did
don't
that.
care about that either,
No,
but it's
listen,
like it
I
felt
don't
like it was
care.
forced upon us.
I do not care that you made the choices to pick the types of people you
Mhm.
chose to be part of the group. My problem is, why didn't you hire good actors from those communities?
Right?
Why did you just hire literally anybody who walked through the door? Because the acting from that group of
Because
people
they
is
were Chicago
so bad.
natives. What's her
Sunny
the one
Kiss, except for the Australian girl, Sunny Kiss
Sunny Kiss
is actually, as the show went on,
clown.
their
Was
character,
that
no,
clown or
not
was
clown.
that
It was the my buddy kept calling him Dennis Rodman,
Slug?
Slug. As the show went on, they actually progressed really well. But the way that the show starts off, the first couple episodes, the acting is so bad. I was
It
like,
was,
what the hell
as
is
the kids would say, it was cringe.
the writing for the show? It's the writing. There's
Yeah.
no reason to be sympathetic to anyone in this show
It's
because
like
you
here's
didn't
six writers, write 6 episodes, but don't connect them in any way.
and that's where you lost me. There's no
Yeah.
reason to feel anything for any of these characters. It's poorly
No.
built. You introduce Joseph Stalin, whatever the hell his name is,
Joseph Stalin.
Joe, whatever, and then
Joe McGillicuddy.
you immediately like make him like part of something, and then you cut him down right away.
Hmm.
Like there was no marination period.
No,
Um,
it didn't sit. It didn't simmer. It
it
didn't.
was it. This show is very comparable to a WWE tag team. They just they started it and then they just split
They
them
broke
up.
them up. A women's tag team.
Yeah, and well, let's just go into spoilers because there's too many spoilers we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Give it a score.
5.7.
I'll give it personal bias of enjoying superhero stuff. I'll give it a 6, but I think it's
Okay.
probably lower than that. Realistically, I think it is.
Yeah, mine is I'm using my WWE our new wrestling scoring biased on
Oh,
this
so
one, and
you're real low.
yeah,
Um, so Putty probably gave it a 9.
yeah, most likely. It's
And
probably every Marvel show that comes out, it's the greatest Marvel show ever.
yeah, and it's like it's hard to be like, well, this we're going into spoilers, by the way.
Yeah,
It's hard to be like this show isn't for you. It's not for your demographic because everyone watching Marvel is just watching Marvel. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, this is the show about a girl. I'm not going to watch this one.
no,
You
but
know.
The MCU should fit every demographic, not
And
just
I'm
a
and
specific one.
I don't feel like I'm just saying I don't feel like this is untargeted towards me, but like if people are going to be like, oh, you didn't like the show because it wasn't for you, yet they're all for me because they're made
Yeah,
for everybody. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you can't tell me that I can't watch this
but
show
that's
or
why I
something.
asked who is this show directed
This
to?
show feels like it's directed at TikTok people. Like
With short
literally.
attention spans.
I don't see it as being directed to like young kids or black people or uh people in the LGBTQ community or people from
Yeah,
Chicago. It feels like it's directed at TikTok fans.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
weird because it's so slow paced.
Yeah.
Like
No.
if you like it feels like you're watching something on point five going through the show.
Mm, yeah. It's watching a 6 hour New Japan show at half speed.
Yeah, and the comedy does work sometimes, but there's also like the mom is awful. Like whatever
Yeah.
everything, it doesn't make sense. Anything that the mom stands for or does, it doesn't like. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Now
Like,
we're
do you know a lot of like what they're trying to project to you as like ghetto-ish project buildings with giant ass apartments? Because
yeah.
like, what's that about?
Yeah. That's
They're,
Chicago though.
they just have giant apartment rooms in these weird little buildings.
And obviously there's a rapist in Lincoln Park.
Yeah, yeah,
So hide your
exactly.
kids, hide your wife.
It's just it's strange to me, a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's not well thought out. The
It feels directionless.
Yes, and
And the fact that
the
Ryan
times
Coogler
cuts.
attached his name to this.
I mean, in fairness, he attached his name to Black Panther 2 as well, and that was not a good movie.
No, that wasn't a good movie either.
That is, and just like I don't even remember her name, my brain it escapes me. But everyone needs to
Shuri.
know Shuri. I knew her, the character name. Shuri, the actor who plays Shuri, is literally the reason we didn't get one more Chadwick Boseman Black Panther because she refused to get vaccinated, and he had cancer at that time, and it would have killed him.
And it would have killed him. Yeah.
Or we would have got Black Panther 2 earlier, and it would have had Chadwick Boseman.
Bozeman. Hmm.
Like, just
Interesting.
keep that in mind. That like
Yeah.
before you're like, well, she was really good. No, she's a piece of shit human.
Yeah. She's a terrible human being. But yeah.
Um, among many other things that she's done, which is weird because Marvel usually quickly cuts ties with people
Yes.
when they do something bad.
I.e. Gina Carano.
Or Jonathan Majorinos.
Hmm.
Um,
Which turns out he was innocent, wasn't he?
no, he wasn't innocent. They just settled out of court,
Oh, okay.
so he didn't get charged. They just
Okay.
um. However, this is not about Jonathan Majors.
No.
There are some good aspects of the show. Like I said, I think from episode halfway into episode four, maybe like close to the end of episode four till the end of the show was really well done. I just think the conclusion with Mephisto is stupid.
Yeah. So,
Having him be in it is fine with me.
yeah.
Doing the thing with Hood is fine with me. That's his name, right? Hood.
I the Hood, yeah. Well, you're
Doing the
Chicago, so
thing
it's
with
the
bringing the
Hood.
girl back was like you
Yeah.
just finished trying to
Sold your soul.
UK. You literally made this character unsympathetic. Then you had a redemption arc, and you made me not. I didn't feel sympathy towards her, but I was like okay with now the direction of the show's going, and then
Yeah.
you immediately took it away. Her first instinct was, oh, money, sell
Yeah.
my soul for money, and then sell my soul to get my friend back. When you already had the AI version of your friend, and everyone
Yeah.
was a coping mechanism, everybody was okay with that girl being dead now.
Hmm.
So what's her brother going to say when she's shown back up in real life now? You think he's not going to be upset that you brought his sister back from the dead?
Yeah. And is it really the same person when they come back from the dead? Because
There's
remember
going
in
to
the
be a
comic,
catch.
sorry?
There's going to be a catch. Like
Right.
Mephisto, there's going to
Mephisto,
be
if
a
you know
catch.
Mephisto from the comic books, there's always a catch. There's always a catch. And but
But
I did
Sacha
like
Baron Cohen being
yeah,
yeah, like, come on, that was really good.
that worked. That worked.
And like I
Now,
said, that part of the show is good. The little kid coming and helping them build the thing, and they have their little
yeah.
team, and the magic people, the daughter and the
Yeah.
mom. I
Blessing
actually
or
really
whatever.
like that actress. The girl who
Yeah.
played the daughter there, the magic one, was really good in the show.
Yeah, she was actually really good.
Who is she again? Like, what is
I
her
don't know.
character?
I just remember Cree Summer is the mom. She's Madeline. She's part of like the whole magic group but she doesn't she's
Is
against
she in Young
Comertage.
Avengers?
I don't know. I don't think so.
The daughter, I meant, not the mom.
Yeah. I
She's
don't know.
against Taj
I can't
Mahal.
remember. Zelma. She is a character in the comic books though.
I figured she had to be.
Yeah, she is a comic book character. She's not a major part, but she is like
And like, I liked where you were going with Alden Ehrenreich and
mhm.
did I say it
Not
right?
Heidenreich.
I said Ehrenreich. They didn't get.
Ehrenreich.
You need to move on, okay?
Yeah. So
Han
it turns
Solo.
out, let's get into the spoiler of this. It turns out that he is actually Obadiah Stane's son,
And that was a good twist. It came too soon,
right?
but it was a good
Came
twist.
came out of nowhere. You're right, it came too soon. But the thing is, there's the wasted potential because he is Ironmonger in the comics.
Yeah, and then also like I was okay with him as the villain. He was strong. They showed how strong he was, and it was awesome.
But then he got punked
But
out.
then the Hood punked him out like a bitch.
Yeah,
And it's like I get that the Hood is strong, but like creating the Hood created this guy to be the muscle, and then just said "fuck you, I'm stronger than you." So why
I'm
did you
stronger
need
than you.
him?
Yeah.
Why you should have dragged. He shouldn't have turned into the whatever the
Iron
character's name
the
is. It
Ironmonger?
Ironmonger? No, I don't think that's what
No, he
he's
didn't
called
turn
yet.
into Ironmonger. I think Ironmonger is
He has a
coming. I think
he has
I
a
think
different name
Ehrenreich
here.
is he's gonna be
Search
moving
him.
for.
Search it up. He has a different name here. Um, like the character name is in the comics. It's a different name. It's not Ironmonger.
Yeah, he goes by Zeke Stain in the comics. Timmy's on it. He does take over. He does take over as Iron Man for a little bit.
Anyways, who cares? Like,
Hey, he was created by Matt Fraction, so hey.
yeah, good writer. And
Yeah.
apparently he didn't work on this show. So it's I like they should have dragged that out and made it wait until another season where he does that.
Yeah.
The turns are too quick here.
See,
Like
well,
the bad guys tried to kill Riri, and then immediately at the end of the show, we're like, no, we're cool with you now, and we want to kill that guy. Like
yeah.
what? The fight scene made no sense. So you built up the two girls, the Spanish or Indian girl, I don't know what she is, and then the Australian girl,
Hmm.
and you had them be like the muscle. They beat the crap out of a bunch of armed security guards with their bare hands and no superpowers. And then Riri easily took them down.
Hmm.
A 4 foot tall child,
Yep.
like, well, she's not actually, but she's comparable to a child,
Yep.
beat them up. And
This this had a this had Ant-Man vibes in a way too. Because like
Ant-Man
Ant-Man is
3,
a form.
maybe.
Well, I mean, no, in terms of like the actual story, whereas like Scott gets out of prison, so he tries to clean up his act, but he's a former criminal, right? He had this group of people
Yes,
he
and
used to.
she's not a former criminal, which is
No,
why
but I
this
mean,
doesn't make any sense.
that's why the writing is all over the
There
place. And I'm
there needed to sorry, go finish.
no. I was just gonna say, and that's why the writing is seems like it's all over the place. Like it
They
just doesn't
needed
make
to
sense.
have more arc of explaining her.
Yeah, it feels like it
Everything
was rushed.
she has no character development. All of her character development is from shoehorned things in the show and exposition. She doesn't actually grow as a character at all. They just
No,
tell you things that this is why she's doing this.
yeah,
And to me that was like yeah.
yeah, and they become friends again at the end.
Yippee.
Yay!
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even have much to say. I thought the music was good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
uh
I love me a little Nina Simone. The carpool karaoke with Alanis Morissette was a bit cringe.
yeah, I mean, I had fun. I think that the soundtrack was good. I do think the musical score was awful. It was
Yeah,
so basic. It was like the most basic superhero like possible like stuff you could have. Like it sounded like the bass, like you just went into Ableton and were like took their bass thing that they have and just put it on and we're like, okay, I'll just play that.
but let me say one positive thing about this. The effects with the suit were really good.
All of the fight scenes and effects were good in this show,
Yeah,
but they're so few and far between.
yeah. If
And
you
like
gave me
I
more of
can't
that,
they built an entire city of tunnels underneath Chicago somehow with no issue at all.
considering Chicago is a port city too, so the water like
Yeah, it's like,
it's
oh
on
yeah.
Lake Michigan.
Listen, we live in Toronto. How long have they been building that subway system for? You're telling me they
14.
built an entire subway with like 37 fucking tunnels in it and it just
And
was like, yeah, it's
and
done.
Chicago is Toronto's sister city.
Yeah, literally. There's no way you were just like, yeah, it's look how many do you see how big that network is? They're just a huge cavernous fucking thing right
You know
underneath
what
the
would have been good
ground.
if they brought in what's his name? The guy from the Hammer Industries guys, because he has a daughter too in the Matt Fraction run.
Yeah,
They could
and
have been
he's
working.
he's not dead.
Yeah.
You could have had her. He's out of jail now, and she went to
Yeah.
him to get something.
Yeah.
The problem is this show has no stingers. It has no teases. Everything is like, oh, this guy is like a cameo, but then he's part
Yeah.
of the show now. Or this girl's a cameo, but now they're part of the show. Like they
I
couldn't just
feel
be
with
like a
what
quick
happened
thing.
here was this show, remember, this show has been delayed 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So it shows that it's been delayed 2 years because they just slapped something together just to get it out there now. And in 2 years, they're gonna forget that they're not, oh, that never happened.
And yeah, it's weird that the way that they end the show is kind of like you're not getting a movie for this. So does that mean I have to watch another season of this? And are you going to give me the same exact?
I don't think we're getting another season. I think the only they may bring the Ironheart character into the MCU as part of the Young Avengers, and you might get Zeke Stain, but that's about it.
Like this is where like I know okay, IMDb it's a 4.1, which I know there's just pure racism and hate on
Yeah.
IMDb.
And
But
it's
then
we're
Rotten
not
Tomatoes
basing.
is an 86, and it's the opposite. One thing is
Yeah,
just
this is
giving you
this is the
pure
other
hate,
thing
and
too.
one thing
There's
is
no
giving you
in between.
yeah,
There's no like a
it's
lot of the other Marvel shows, it's like even a lot of them like recently were like it's not bad, it's not good, but it's not bad. Like we're
this
in
is not a
between.
4.1, and this is also definitely not an
Not an 80.
86.
It must have been Putty who rated it on Rotten
It's just
Tomatoes.
it to me, and now Rotten Tomatoes removed their aggregate score, so you can't actually see what shows are rated now. You can just see the. So I guarantee you, it's like a 6 out of 10 with, but the six is enough to give it fresh, right?
Yeah.
It's just it's so silly. Like one side is just all yuppies being like, "Oh, it's so good," and then one side's like, "Oh, it has
Look at all
women
the
in it."
representation.
Well, stupid women. There's a gay guy. Like, okay,
There's
yeah,
black people.
like, yeah, they
Who
don't
cares?
exist in real life. Like, I've
Like,
never seen one of those. Oh my God, it's just so silly to me.
considering I have
Just be
friends that are
honest
like,
about it. It was a really poorly written show that it's loaded with bad acting.
my wife works in the fashion industry. Half of our friends are gay, so it's like,
I mean, you live in Toronto. It's like one of the
yeah,
biggest gay populations in the world, but it's we're multicultural here. So
yeah.
maybe for us it's just different.
We're used to it. To us, it's nothing out of the ordinary.
Like, yeah, you're just born into that since
Yeah,
forever. It's just I don't know. I think the show is just not a good show. It
it's
has
not a
nothing
good
to
show.
do with the thing, right?
If this was an all-white cast, this would still be just as
Would have
bad.
been it did like I said, I don't even care that you kind of shoehorn representation into it. I don't even
No.
care about that. It's why didn't you pick good actors?
Hell, Sonny Kiss would have done it.
But you know, like there are good gay actors and trans actors and
Yeah.
lesbian actors and Spanish actors and
Well,
black
it's
actors.
like
Why
what's
did
her
you
name
not
that
pick anybody
Hunt
good?
what's her name? Hunter that they want to play
Hunter
Zelda.
Schafer?
Hunter Schafer. Like I'm not upset by that. She
Look,
looks like
she actually looks like fucking
Zelda.
Zelda. So
Yeah.
I mean, like her real life visual is Zelda,
Yeah.
like the modern Zelda, like Wind Waker. What's the new show? What's the new one called?
Breath of the Wild.
Like Breath of the Wild Zelda is exactly what she looks like.
Yeah. And
Anyways, we
okay, so
digress.
she's an actress that happens to be big deal.
I don't
Is she
care what
right for
you
the
are,
role?
just be
Yeah.
good at your job
Be good for the role. Like I mean, it's the like visually it's the perfect casting.
and stop having 35 writers on a show.
Yes. Have but that's the thing too. I don't think there was a lead writer on this show. I think that's maybe what was missing because there's shows that have a lead writer and then there's sub
I think there
writers.
should have been more consulting from the creators of the character.
Yeah. We should have had Bendis on this. We should have had Matt Fraction on this.
And I think there should have been more hands-on from what's his name? The guy from Sinners.
Kugler?
I think Kugler, because I can almost guarantee you he just showed up a couple of days and was like, "Yeah, that's we're doing this. Okay, I gotta go."
Yeah.
I don't know
Just to
why he
get the
turned into
executive
Woody
producer
Allen there,
credit.
but turned into Martin Scorsese there. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I gotta go.
Woody Allen is more like this. And
I don't want to do anything with Woody Allen. Anyways,
yeah.
yeah.
Don't
Um,
watch it.
you don't need to watch it. It's
Yeah.
weird too because they made the show in such a way that you literally don't need to watch the show.
No, it doesn't connect to anything.
It's so odd.
Like
Like,
there's no reference. Like there's what one small reference, a reference to Wakanda, and that's about it.
yeah, I had an internship overseas or something like that.
Yeah, That was the only reference to Wakanda. Like
I
there
don't
was
know.
no,
You could do better. The whole cast of the show deserves better. The it's I don't know how anyone read this script and was like, yeah, that's what we should do. Anyways, we digress.
or you know
That's
what
it.
you could have,
No, we're not listening to you.
you know what
Okay,
would
go
have
on.
been better? Have what's her name from Agatha? One of the witches from Agatha show up as the magic person in this one. Like
No,
someone
have
like,
that girl, have the one that's in it, have to consult with one of those people from
yeah,
Agatha.
like what's her name? Zashir Zameda. Is that her name? The one who
I
used
don't
to be
know.
on SNL?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Yeah, you could have had her and she consults her at one point in the because she survived that.
You could have just had her consult the son, Wiccan, or whatever the hell his name
Yeah,
is.
at least connect it somehow.
I don't know. Anyways, that's it. Tell us what you thought in the comments, and we're idiots. Bye.